Hi everyone, morning. I represent EnKash and I'm going to, in 5 minutes that have been given to me, talk about some of the key elements that go into defining the kind of work CFOs do every day. Before that, I think I'd like to talk about our organization. We're about 5 years old. We're one of the smartest fintechs when it comes to spend management. We've been doing this with organizations across the board, small enterprises, medium enterprises and large enterprises. And there are a few learnings, and I think this essentially is also the essence on which most of our products are based. I think the first thing that we believe matters the most to CFOs today is a robust transactional layer. This is where users interact. I think in the first session we were talking about data being the new oil, right? This is where most of the data around your organization gets generated. So I think this relates to anything that is to do with accounting, expenses, anything to do with your AP, AR. This is the bedrock. This is where everything that's going on in your organization is absolutely clear. We follow this up with something called as a smart control layer. There's no point having so many processes run without control. I think this essentially is where process adherence, how well each of your processes is behaving, is revealed. I think any modern stack that CFOs deploy today needs to give you insights into, how well are you doing with controls? Are you being able to control your spending? Let's say, for example, is there something that you can do better with that? I think this is where all the data that you're doing, if you're able to establish controls, I mean, this could be spends, right? When we're talking about corporate cards, you could be spending using corporate cards, but what is the control that you've established on those? Do you allow people to spend on forex? Do you allow people to spend on cash withdrawals and things like that? I think this is where one of those things. On top of this, I think you've got a lot of data, you've established controls. What is it that you're going to do with it? I think it is about the analysis of all of this data. This is the embedded intelligence. This is where you get to know through dashboards, through real-time reporting, reconciliation, in terms of what is happening in the organization. I think one of the core, so not everybody can interact with the robust transactional layer. Nobody in the CFO circle actually goes down and sits and works on an ERP today. The person who wants to know what is happening within the organization, I think this is where most of the decision makers would interact with the stack, right? I mean, you want to know what is happening. What are the decisions that I'm going to take on these insights? I think this is what a very smart analytical layer could do for those CFOs. If you follow this up and you build your stack completely, I think you need compliance, you need statutory rules to be followed. I think these are the guardrails. We heard about Upgrad going to NYSE for an IPO, and the first thing that they did was be very clear that we would be working on compliance. I think this is very important. In a stack that matters the most to CFOs, I think these, according to us, are the essential layers, and this is across the entire finance function. This is where users who are actually working on the ERP are interacting, people who are making decisions are interacting, and I think through and through for CFOs, if they get a vision or an eye into what is happening in their organization, this is how we feel a modern stack would actually be most relevant for CFOs. I think we put out a stall there. If you have any questions on how we do this better and how is it that we can solve this for you, we can connect and we can see how we can integrate into your environment, automate and accelerate some of your